Of you have piercings, but how many of you know some of the historical and societal significance of piercings? I currently have 7 piercings, and I'm planning on getting at least 2 more, and I think they're just such a fun way of expressing yourself. Today, I'm going to give you a brief history of piercings, explain their place in modern society, and give you a rundown of the modern process of getting a piercing. An article called Living Canvas states that piercing has been practiced in almost every society. When I went to museums in Peru, I got to see many of the gold jewelry that was created for ear, nose, and lip piercings. Additionally, in Mayan, Hindu, and Cambodian cultures, there's a lot of evidence of piercings, especially on the ears, in carvings in temples, and lots of jewelry has been discovered as well. Additionally, in Hindu culture, nose piercing is still very prevalent. Closer to modern history, in Europe and the United States, tattoos and piercings were reserved more for people on the fringes of society, like prisoners and sailors, and that's according to the background of a study published in the European Journal of Personality. In the 1920s, even earlobe piercings were out of fashion, so clip-on earrings really rose in popularity. But in the late 1980s, there was a drastic increase in popularity of all types of piercings. Today, piercings are seen as self-expression more than a cultural expectation, and they're accepted but not necessarily expected. Over 50% of people over the age of 18 have earlobe piercings, according to a study done by Anne Lauman. And a study in 2010, published in Statista, reported that 23% of adults between the ages of 18 and 29 have piercings other than the earlobes. Some piercings that are popular right now include the conch piercing, the daith piercing, and the septum, as demonstrated by Zoe Kravitz. And I personally have a tragus piercing, a double lobe, nostril, a double cartilage, and a single lobe on the side, but I'm planning on getting a triple. So many people still go to get their lobes pierced with a piercing gun. You go up to Claire's as like a 12-year-old, and you get your ears pierced with a piercing gun, but it's really unsanitary and it can cause trauma, especially if you get your cartilage done with a piercing gun. It can actually shatter. And it's just really not accurate and a bad idea. I got my lobes pierced with a piercing gun, and it was just really inaccurate, and I did have to go get them redone. And it's also pretty sketchy to do it yourself. Some people numb their earlobes with an ice cube and then just stick a needle through with an apple slice at the back to catch the needle, and that's just gross and a terrible idea. So definitely go to a professional. Just a warning, if you're a little bit squeamish, there is a needle in somebody's nose on the next slide. So once you arrive at the piercing studio, you'll sign a contract and make sure you're not under the influence of anything, and make sure you understand the risks. That does kind of debunk the classic sitcom shtick of like drunkenly getting a tattoo or a piercing. That doesn't happen very often in real life. But once you're ready to go, you can pick out your jewelry. And for most piercings, it heals much more easily if you get a stud before a hoop, because the hoops, since they twist around, they transfer bacteria much more easily. Then your piercer will prepare the area by cleaning it and drawing a little purple dot right where you want it, and then it's time to be pierced. You'll either sit down or lie down depending on your piercer's preference and your tendency to be lightheaded, and then they'll put a needle in the area with the jewelry attached to the end. The pain varies a lot depending on the area. For example, my tragus was extremely painful but didn't hurt at all after I got it done, and my cartilage wasn't that bad, but it did ache for a longer time afterwards. After you get it done, there are many different ways to keep it clean. For example, salt water or saline solution is a great way to keep it clean, and Dial soap, which is just the antibacterial hand soap, works really well, especially for cartilage, and I used it on my nose. I still do. The healing time additionally varies a lot depending on the area. Like lobes and like fleshier pieces heal a lot more quickly than cartilage. And it'll take some getting used to. And if it gets infected, make sure you go to your piercer or a medical professional as soon as possible. But once it is healed, you can enjoy your groovy new look. As curator Enid Schildkraut observes, everybody does something to their bodies to communicate who they are, even if just to comb their hair. Even if you don't want or have any piercings, now you know a little bit more about them and the choices you and other people have made for hundreds of years to express themselves every day.